the Universal Program, I'm assuming, which is a program that the Washington County Public Library actually offers. Thank you for coming out on this cold and rainy day, and without further ado, Sally Jones.
Well, thank you, Kathy. I was just telling these guys the last time I was here and did a presentation, it was snowing, so it seems appropriate that today it would be raining. But first of all, thank you all for coming, and I am indeed Sally Jones from the Washington County Public Library. And what we're going to talk about today is a resource that we'll call a database that we have that I think could be beneficial to you and to your whoever you work for, and it can be beneficial also to your families, which we'll talk about in a minute. And we're going to go through some things on the PowerPoint, so I can give you some good information, and then we're going to go right into Universal Class, and I'm going to do a couple little things, show you a couple things about it. And hopefully you'll get something, you know, I think it's, Universal Class is, it's beneficial, I think, for employees. I think it's great for HR managers, supervisors. It can be great for your personal life. It can be good for your kids. So there's a lot that it offers, and what it is, it's a collection of over 500 online classes that you can take for free. And all you need is a library card, which we'll talk about in a second. And so we're going to get into the details on that in a moment. But I think what we're going to do first is I like to know people. So we're going to go around the room and give our names and say who you work for and why you wanted to come to the class. So we can start.
Hi, my name is Sonia Van Hook. I'm the Education Director at the Higher Education Center. So anything that has to do with education and classes and free, I need to find out what it's all about.
Yeah,
That's the reason I'm here.
That's great. I'm so glad you came in. I was, Sonia has helped me out of a couple of binds at the College for Older Adults. I teach a class out there usually, and I 9 times out of 10 I've got a tech issue, so most of the time it's my fault. So I was happy to see her. But anyway, we will go ahead and we've got our tech support here, so we'll go ahead and talk to you.
I'm Samantha Tedder with the Washington County Chamber of Commerce, and I'm looking forward to learning about the Universal Class.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for doing tech support today. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And we've got Kyle, and he will tell us his story.
I'm Kyle Craig. I'm with Computer Solutions. I'm a sucker for anything from the library because I learn a lot there and I always want to learn more.
Kyle is a very good friend to the Washington County Public Library. He's been there for veterans events, and I know he came in with the bear that we took a picture.
The soldier bear.
Yeah. Yes, the soldier bear, and we really appreciate the work that he does with us. We do appreciate that connection. So go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jean Gallagher. I work here at the Virginia Island Small Business Incubator, and I was excited to find out about this class because I had no idea that it was available, and all the classes that are on, that anyone can take. So,
Yep. Well, hopefully you'll find something you'll want to take. Hello, Nina.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy to see you.
It's great to see you. You always bring so much information for us, and I'm so excited to have you.
Well, thank you. I was very excited to hear you were coming. I was telling, I'm sorry, what was your name? Samantha, about, our bond up in Richmond during leadership, and she's a sweetheart, a real sweetheart. Always happy to run into you. Okay, go ahead.
I'm Kathy Malone. I'm a senior manager with the Department for the Blind and Vision Impaired, and I just thought it looked like a good resource, a community resource for not only staff development but for our clients. We serve all ages.
Yes, I think you will find some good things on this, just to let you know. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Universal Class. We actually get this through the Library of Virginia, and it's free. Okay, so the library isn't paying for it per se. And I'll go into a little bit of detail with that, but usually people are like, wow, how can you guys afford such a major resource? Well, we get it free for the Library of Virginia, who gets it through the Library of Museum and Library Studies, which is a federal thing. So we were happy to get access to this, and I think it was in October, November when we started to have access to it. And we did a pretty good publicity blitz. We were in the Washington County News, and I believe we were in the Bristol Herald Courier about this. And we've offered several classes at the library, but we felt like this would be a good place to get it out So that's why I'm here. And so we're gonna, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Just to let you know a couple things, ask me questions. I love questions. I have my card here if you're interested, and at the end I have a little bit of a handout for you. And if any of you would like me to send a copy of the PowerPoint to your email, feel free to let me know. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so what exactly is Universal Class? Well, what it is, it's an online course that is a very high quality course that you can help you learn skills that you might need, refreshers. This is something that it would be great for HR managers, and you'll see why when I show you the list of classes. So the other thing about it is the classes aren't just tutorials, they really are classes. And they really are classes. And we'll talk about this in a bit, but they're pretty serious. This isn't just, I'm just gonna go in and do a continuing ed thing. And it is a continuing ed class, which I'll tell you about, but it's something that you're gonna have to spend some time on. I took a class on writing reports. I'm actually in the middle of it. And it is, I think it's 13 segments. And each class will give you an estimate of how long they think that you'll take it. So they're kind of involved, and there are assignments, and there's homework, and you get graded. So it's pretty serious business. So just to let you know that. You are, like I said, you're going to get lessons, exams, assignments. You can join the discussion boards if you'd like to, and you'll get assessments of your progress. And the funny thing is it doesn't matter how old you are or how far you are out from school. When you get the email from the teacher that says, great job, and you do well on it, it still feels pretty good. So you get that feedback. And so just to let you know that. And the other thing too is you will earn a certificate, which you can print off. And if I were you, I'd either hang it in my office or make sure it's in my personnel file, because it goes to show that you are making the effort to improve yourself and improve what you're bringing to the table at your job. So that's an important thing. And it also is continuing ed units, which we'll talk about in a second. So that's what Universal Class is. So let's talk about this. So most people want to know right away, what are the courses? Like, what do you have? What are you going to do? Well, we've got over 500. There are over 500 courses within this, and they do add. And if you are someone in your work or in your own life where you need some technology help, we've got classes for computer basics. You can do Office 2019 for Excel, Word, PowerPoint. There's Introduction to SQL if you need SQL. You can learn how to run an effective help desk if that's something that you're interested in. You can learn how to use CSS, Java, HTML. So if you're the tech person at your office, or maybe you're not the tech person, but you would like to be, or feel like you need to at least be able to talk, to be a part of the conversation, this would be a great thing to take. So just to let you know. There are also a lot of classes offered within it that are business professionalism. You can take a class on business management, customer service, administrative assistant, 101, advertising, marketing, and sales writing. This just skims the top of really what's offered here. So just to let you know, if you need the tech or the business, I'm also going to tell you that if you are an HR manager or a supervisor and you want your people to be keeping up with professional development, which is really, really important, and if you're an employee and you want to shine and you want to show that you're interested and that you are willing to take the extra step, professional development is a really, really good thing to do, and this is a really, really great thing to do. So the types of those classes are preventing workplace harassment, resolving workplace conflict, sensitivity training, and these are all, you'll notice, very topical right now. Things that are being discussed and trying to understand how to make sure that your office or where you work is working as effectively as it can without those extraneous things that sometimes can bog an office down, and you get some help with that. There's also the practical, how to write effective policies and procedures, how to delegate. I don't know about you, but job performance appraisals can be a bear. And nobody, I don't think anybody really looks forward to them, but you can get some help, a how-to guide on how to do that. And also running effective meetings. I think we all would love to have really effective meetings all the time. Hard thing to pull off. And Sonia, I hope I'm not in your way. Then I thought I'd put this up here because I wanted to let you know that there's also a lot in there for personal growth, okay? So if you are looking for anything from basic parenting, and if you maybe have clients that might need, extra help on whenever they become parents, and you would like them to maybe sit down and take a look at, maybe some help, some tips to make them better parents, or get them ready to be a parent, that would be a great one to take. There's lifetime wellness. Memory and concentration is big right now, and trying to, concentrate, but also keeping your brain alive and memory, and so that has we've got a class for that. And the art of breathing, that's another big one right now, and we all know about yoga. So just to let you know, those are the types of classes that that Universal Class offers. And we're gonna, like I said, we'll go into it in a minute and really take a look at it. So what's a CEU? Well, a CEU stands for Continuing Education Unit, and a CEU is not the same as a college credit. So this is a community college credit. It's not anything at all like that. But what it is for continuing ed. And again, this stuff looks really good when you're going up for a promotion or a new job. You can always say, okay, you can tick off, well, you know what, I've done this, 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 and this, and I've got the certificate to prove it. Because I was interested enough to take a class and to improve myself and to be more of an asset to my company, my business, whatever you are. And CEUs are the industry measurement of non-credit education, and a CEU equals 10 contact hours if that's something that, your business, looks at it in that way. So this is a pretty good deal, and it's free. And the thing with it too, of course, the advantages are, if you're a company, you might be a nonprofit, you might be a community action agency, you might just be a small business that doesn't have a lot of money to send your people to away to conferences, or you can't afford webinars even. This is a great way to get people up to snuff and to expose them to what's out there, and to make changes and to grow. And also, when you're helping them, they're helping the company, they're helping the business. So it's well worth it. So just to let you know that. Now, the nuts and bolts of Universal Class are the classes are self-paced, and they're also instructor-led. You can start your class anytime you want to. You can end your class when you want to. There are videos. The class that I am in the process of taking, I've not had a lot of instructor interaction, and I think it's because I don't want it. I think other than tell me I'm great when I get an A, because that I want the feedback. But I really do just want to do it, and you do get tested, as I said. But yes, you will have an instructor, and the ones that I've had so far are very nice, and they will give you feedback if you ask for it, and it's very positive. You do have to be an independent, self-learned person, and you have to be willing to do that, and you have to have the discipline to carry it out, because some of the classes are up to 15 hours, and again, it's not all at one time. I mean, you could I always think of it in terms of maybe semesters. Like, okay, I'll do this in the winter or spring, whatever. I'll do this in the summer, and I'll do this in the fall. And then you've got 3 classes under your belt. So that's a pretty good deal. And you can also, if you're a supervisor or HR manager, you can always make up your own, okay, you need to have this done by, et cetera, et cetera. I want you to spend 2 or 3 hours a week, or whatever would work for you. And then the employee sort of has then an idea of when, sometimes employees want to know that, like, okay, what is expected of me, and when do I need to have this done? So you could do that if you're going at it from that way. And it really is fun, it's convenient, and you learn all kinds of cool things. Speaking of the Glade Spring contingent, I know a couple people down there that have taken, in their personal time, they've taken something, one was on ghost hunting. They have that. And Angels, and they've done some things too for, technology for their job. So it's really, you can, the sky's the limit with what you want to do with this, and you can make it your own, however you want to do it. All right. So as far as classes are, if you're a working mom or dad and you need to get the kids to bed and maybe do an hour at home, like at 11 o'clock at night because that's the only time you have, or 4 o'clock in the morning, that's what's convenient about it, is you can take your class wherever you want to, and you don't have to, at this point in the game, you pretty much have these people who offer classes, whether for credit or not, they obviously, as we all know, have, really modified their schedules around the working person, or the person who's busy and completing degrees, etc. And universal class is not any different. And you work at your own timetable, and you can stop in the middle of a lesson. So say you've got a half hour in, but something at work explodes and you need to go take care of it, or the kids are crying, or you need to go to a baseball game or a little league game or football or soccer, you can still, you can get right back on when you have a chance to do that. And again, it's open 24 hours a day, every day of the week. So you can get on whenever you want to. It couldn't be more convenient, if that's what you're looking for. All right. Which you probably are, because aren't we all looking for convenience? So you might be wondering, how do I get onto this thing? Well, let me ask you a couple of questions. How many of you have a library card? Yay, Kyle. Yeah. All right, Mister. I'm calling Tanya when I get back.
She took mine away.
I could see that. I could see that there might have been an issue somewhere along the way. I could see that. But I'm glad that you all have library cards. So for Kyle, because I'm going to call him out, what I will tell you is this: is you do need a Washington County Public Library card, and you can get one at any of our branches. And of course, we're Mendota, Hyder's Gap, Lake Spring, Damascus, and then the main branch in Abingdon. And some of you may have this one, which is the older one, which is fine. And probably the next time you come in the library, we may say, hey, we're going to give you the new one, because isn't the new one lovely? Yeah, this is a great looking card. So, and you would be amazed at how long it takes to decide on a library card, because you want it to represent your brand and who you are and your page, the whole thing. So it seems easy, but it really isn't. But these are pretty nice. I actually have an old one too. But yeah, so these are the new ones, and if you go into the library, chances are they'll say, we're going to get you a new card. So anyway, just to let you know that. So you do need your card, and if you come into the library, or if you know folks who need a library card, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is bring in your something with your address on it, whether it's your driver's license or a piece of mail or something like that. So just to let you know that. And you can access this, by the way, from the Washington County Library homepage, which I'm going to talk about in a second. And you use your library card, and you can access it from home or office 24 hours a day, whatever time you want to do it. Okay, did I have any questions so far? Okay, I'm going to take a swig of water, and then we will go on to the next thing. Okay. Let's see what we've got next. Okay. A couple things about the library card, because we have to do our thing in libraries. We love to tell people about the library cards. They're free for Washington County residents at any age, and it doesn't matter if you're a permanent or temporary resident if you just bring in something and let us know that you're temporary. Because we have a lot of people in Abingdon, of course, that come for the summers or for whatever reason, come to see their kids. Or I had a gentleman yesterday who, I forget where he was from, but he comes to camp, camp here like every other weekend or so, and he comes in a good bit. If you're not, of course they're free. That's part of the deal. If you're not a Washington County resident, your card is still free if you live in Bristol, Virginia, or Tennessee, Smith, Grayson, Russell, Scott, Tazewell, or Wythe counties in Virginia, or Johnson County in Tennessee. So we make it pretty easy. Now, if you're not from any of those areas, or you have friends and family who want to use this and they're not from this area, or employees, you can still get one for $10. So just select a library card for $10. So, and you can, this allows you to check out books, and I don't know if you know this, but we are We have tons of DVDs, especially at the main library. So if you don't stream, or you know people who don't stream, but you want DVDs, we have documentaries, we've got features, we've got comedy, we've got TV series. Last I heard, we had over 3,000 in the library. So if you're ever, you know, want to get that, we have lots of kids stuff too. So if you need it for the grandkids too, you can do that. All right. Oh, this is important, what I wanted to tell you, and I sort of hit on this before, but just to get back into it. A lot of folks wonder, okay, now how do you guys afford that? Because it's money, money, money. And it is indeed money, money, money. But we get it through Find It Virginia, which is part of the the Library of Virginia. And it's federal funds from the museum and the Institute of Museum and Library Services. And everyone in Virginia actually has access to this. We're not the only ones. So we're very grateful to have that, because I think, if I remember correctly, one class is really $175. So that's a lot of money that you don't have to spend. So think about that if you want to. All right, let's see where we're going to go next. Okay, any questions at the moment? Yeah.
You said that the instructors are available if needed.
Mhm.
Do you email them, or how does
Yeah,
that work?
you can email them. There are also discussion boards. They will email you your results of the tests and the assignments, and I'll show you some of that whenever I get on. But they're there if you need them. You might not hear from them right away because, and when I mean right away, like you've got to give it maybe 2 days, because they also have other jobs. So what I suspect is that this is like their second extra money. My kid needs braces job or something like that. So you will hear from them. It's just a matter of when. Any other questions? No. All right, what I'm going to do now, if you'll give me 1 minute, I am going to get onto the library's webpage, and then we'll start taking a look at this. And then I'm going to do this. Okay. And then we will go here. Okay. Now I have to do my due diligence, or I would not be a good librarian, an information person. And I won't spend too much time on it, but I just want to let you know what we've got going on. I don't know if you know this, but we are in the midst of children's summer reading. So if you have kids, grandkids, baby kids, whatever, they should really take a look at our programs. We have a lot of really good things. We had over 65 kids on Monday to make slime. They loved it. It's sort of a STEM STEAM type thing. They loved it. We had on Saturday, we call it Emergency Vehicle Day, and that's when the emergency vehicles in the area come to the library parking lot, and kids can, learn about them, and they actually get to go and sit in the seats and all that stuff and do cool things. And from what I understand, the big shopping cart from Food City was there, so the kids have a ball doing that. And we have programs throughout the summer. We have Professor Wizpop, who is a riot. He'll talk to the kids. We have probably one of our biggest things that we do for the kids, and they love it, and you can hear them screaming their little heads off, is Darren Handy comes, and he has, he brings reptiles and all kinds of cool stuff that he rehabilitates. And the kids go absolutely nuts over this. They love it, and we do this every year. And we get a full house all the time. And we get actually a full house for all of our events. And they're also at they're also at the branches, so the branches have their own. And if you're interested, all you have to do is click on, we'll just let it run its course. If you click on Step Right Up, it'll give you the whole schedule of everything all summer. So if you know people, or you've got, like I said, kids or grandkids, it's a good idea. We're also in the middle of adult summer reading, and we're doing the Battle of the Book, and we're doing A Walk in the Woods and Little Fires Everywhere. And those are 2 books that you can read, and I believe that there are prizes, and we're going to be having a book discussion, and then we're going to be showing the movie A Walk in the Woods. Both books are really good. I don't know which one I pick. I love To Walk in the Woods. I've probably read that 100 times. And then Little Fires Everywhere is also very good. So if you're interested in doing that. Patrons love that sort of thing, so we do that. We also have The House Story with Rick McVeigh from The Order. So if you have kids in your life that you want to have them, please give me 5 minutes. You could call in and have Rick McVeigh read the story. He's terrific, they're excellent, and it's a really great thing for kids to do. Anything to promote reading, right? Also, if you're interested in ebooks and audiobooks, you can check now up to 6 items, and we've increased that because it's so popular. Anybody here in a book club, in a book group, book discussion group? Okay. If you know of anybody that is, I'll put this out here because this is a big initiative for us. It's also my initiative, so I'll promote. We are supplying book kits to local book groups, so if you know people who are in them, and what all the patron has to do is a member of the book group has to come, check out the book kit to themselves and distribute the books. What's in the book kit is, it's a bag, and what's in it are usually 9 print copies of the book, a book on CD when we can get one, a list of questions, and they can keep it up to, like say your book discussion group is going to discuss it in September, you give it out in the August meeting, and then you would collect it in September and bring the bag back. And it's free, and patrons don't have to buy the books because they're expensive, and then you don't have to figure out a place to put the books, and after you bought them, so it's a really good process. And if you click on, again, there's usually a little thing, learn more, it'll give you the title, so pass it on if you've got friends in book groups. I'm trying to think what else. I think that's it. Any questions about the library? Okay, we're going to go into the databases. So how would you access Universal Class, back to get on track? Universal Class is, and I do have the instructions up here, so don't worry if you get lost. And I'm sorry to be standing in front of you. You would go to Research and Classes, which is right there, and then you're going to scroll down to Databases. And you're going to click, and we're going to hope that it loads. And it does, so that's helpful. So I'll just tell you a couple quick things, and I won't spend a lot of time on it, but you may or may not know we've got this stuff. And you know what? You might as well know we have it. And I feel this way. Please use it. We want you to. We have Ancestry Library Edition. So if you see those commercials on TV for Ancestry, we have that. So if you're interested in genealogy, for pity's sake, please come and use it. It isn't in library database, meaning you've got to use it in the library. That's one of the deals with them. If that's not our, we did our stricture, it's theirs. But it's a great database. It gets lots of use. We also have something for career transition. So if you've got folks in your work life or in your personal life who are trying to get jobs, maybe they're just out of jail, maybe they're just coming off a bad layoff, we have that. And you can create a resume, you can take skills and interest assessments, lots of webinars on interviewing, so there's all kinds of stuff there. And this is all, and for the record, this is all free stuff. Career Transitions is, again, through the Library of Virginia. Ancestry, we pay for. We also have Consumer Reports online, so if you want to ever use that, that gets used a lot. And when we have an issue with the password, within 2 seconds, we're getting emails from folks saying, your Consumer Reports isn't working. And that involves a login and a password, which is right there. We give it right to you. Cypress Resume is another quick and easy way to make a resume if you're interested in it. You can do business ones. You can. It has 2 options, and I can't remember the one, but you can do that. You also can do a cover letter. And what's great with it, it gives you the wording. Like if you plug in your information, like they'll ask you questions like, what do you do? Describe your job, and then they'll plug in the things that you should put in your resume. So that's really nice. We also have, let's see here, Early World of Learning is really nice if you've got little ones, you've got little ones in your life. You can, it's got stories and videos and songs, and it's really cute. It's a really good thing to do. And it's very cute, but it's also early learning, and that's really important, and getting the kids to do, get used to that. We also have 2 other databases called Explorer Public and Explorer Primary. Those are from the Library of Virginia. Early World of Learning is also. And those are great databases. For the primaries, obviously for the little kids. So if you've got kids with school projects and things that they need to do, I'm doing a paper on Martin Luther King. Primary is probably a pretty good source for you. It's got images. If you've got a high school kid, even into college, you've got Explorer. You can go ahead and use that. And there's scholarly stuff on there. So if you've got college students in your life, they might wanna take a look at that. All right, gonna move down. We don't have a lot, just so you know, we're almost at the bottom, so I don't wanna. Okay, the Foundation Funding Network Information Network is great for the nonprofit because it helps you to find grants to support whatever it is that you're doing or what you're trying to do. So the foundation is important. I'm gonna probably not get this exactly right, but in Southwest Virginia, we're one of the few libraries that has access to this. We're the only library that has access to it. I don't know if I can give you within a three hour drive, we're the only place, but something like that. And if you want something, if you need information about that, it's not the easiest thing to use, and the best thing that I can do is tell you to call the library if this is something you want. And Will Stein is our foundation navigator, and he would be happy to sit down with you for an hour or so and go through it. So think about that if you know nonprofits. The Virtual Reference Library is a lot of electronic books that cover a lot of subject areas. So if your kid's got a report and it's 2 in the morning and they just told you, well, you're in good shape. Heritage Quest Online, another genealogy database. Patrons love it. There's a lot of genealogies in the area. Kids Info Bits is great. It's a lot of curriculum stuff, educational topics on animals, literature, science, tech, all kinds of good stuff on there. So if you've got kids, you might want to check it out. Legal Forms is great. We have lots of people who come in and want to write wills, medical directives. That's what go here. Legal forms, medical directives, wills, all kinds of forms on there for Virginia, free. You pick them out. You just have to click the right one. And like divorce, I think there's probably 25 forms for the divorce, but it kind of says, are you a couple with no children or in a house, or you know what I mean? Like it'll ask you some questions so you can sort of figure out where you are. LexisNexis, I did a class on that here. It's great for the legal world as well as business. Got newspapers on there, all kinds of good stuff. So just to let you know that. And we're almost done, I promise. And we're going to do Mango Languages, so if you want to learn a new language, we do that. We also have Rocket Languages. Mango is probably going to go because Rocket Languages we picked up from the Library of Virginia. Novelist is a great database if you know readers in your life. We use this all the time. It's one of my favorite databases to when we start to analyze our collection. It's very helpful. Reference USA is great for the business person. You can get facts about potential employers. So if you are getting ready to go on an interview, that's a great place to go. And Rocket Languages, you can learn Spanish, you can learn French, you can learn all kinds of stuff. And then finally, Salem Press has some online books. And then we get to Universal Class, which is at the bottom. So after all that, you're going to remember, go to the library homepage. You're going to go to Research and Classes, and then you're going to click on Universal Class. And I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And show you what you see when you sign in. Okay. So because I have an account, I'm just going to go ahead and do my account, but you would put in your library card, and then you really do have to set up a separate account because there's no way around it. I mean, I feel like I have an account for everything. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And so once you are getting your, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that up. I'm going to talk a little bit about this, and I don't want to get in your way too much. But if you are interested in this, this is what it looks like when you've registered for a class and you're taking one. And there are a couple things I'm going to click on in a second. But I think the first thing we're going to talk about is the course catalog. So I will go ahead and click on that so you can see the classes. Okay. So, now this isn't all of it. This is just giving you a good idea. And I won't read all of these because you can read them yourselves. In fact, I'm going to take a sip of water and you guys can take a look and see if that's something that you want to talk about in a minute. So, if you're interested in accounting, you've got 40 online classes. If you're interested in your personal life for crafts and hobbies, you've got 70 online classes. If you're interested in business, and we're going to go to that one in a second, there are over 100 courses that you can take a look at. If you want to do computer training, there are classes 55. Finance, 60. History, 30. Homeschooling, we've got a big homeschooling population, so if you know any homeschoolers, they can go ahead and take a look at this. We've got some do-it-yourself. We've got legal and criminal, and I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. We'll go into business in a second. Then you've got personal development, you've got pet and animal care, psychology, self-help, science, real estate, social work. Those of you that maybe are, in the nonprofits, in the social work world, you might want to take a look at something on there. Special ed, teacher resources, test prep. I'm going to show you that one. Don't let me forget to do that in case you've got kids or grandkids that are getting ready to, that need to take extra classes and that sort of thing. And writing skills and web development. Writing skills, it's hard to be an employee in 2019 if you don't know how to write. And and the other thing too is you might have an employee that you just love. They're doing great. They come in on time. They've got initiative, but their skills might not be up to snuff. This would be a great way to get them going and to encourage them to take a class to they can bring more to the table. So just to let you know that those are all there, and I'm going to click on. I said since we are at the Small Business Incubator, we will click on. Entrepreneurship. Okay, we can do that too. We can do anything you're interested in. Okay, so for this class, or for this batch, you've got business professionalism. You can see that it's 5 hours long, and you'll notice up in the under business professionalism, above it rather, you see it's got 0.5 credit unit or continuing ed units. It's 5 hours. That's pretty reasonable. Like I said, mine is 20, something like that. Business management, it would take you about 9 hours. And these are estimates. Business ethics, it would take you about 11 hours to do it. I'm going to show you some of this in a second, but let me scroll over a little bit more here. You've got event planning, you've got business writing, you've got customer service, and you'll notice customer service is 15 hours, business writing is 19 hours. The 19 hours ones are pretty long, and here are some more. I won't go through all of them, but I'm going to scroll just for a couple times, and then I'll move out of the way so you can see it, and at least you'll be able to notice some of the things that you can get. Accounts receivable, tech writing, accounting, administrative assistant. I mean, there's so much there that you could really work with. And I'll scroll down just a little bit, and we'll look at a couple more under business. So we've got business admin, we've got branding. Branding is so important. Analysis. You couldn't use some more analysis and analytical skills. I know that I could. Budgeting, consulting, business credit 101, loan applications it looks like. Go ahead and scroll down just a little bit more. And then we've got business etiquette, business management. And workplace etiquette is really important. There's also one in here somewhere for email etiquette too. Business professionalism. Sometimes, you might get a 22-year-old that has never worked before. They're a great employee, they're hard workers, they've got great ideas, but they might not be as professional as you would like them to be, and they've never been exposed to that. This would be a great, but that one is only 5 hours. You could get them up to snuff pretty quickly if that would be something that you're interested in. And then call center, if you're someone or if you know somebody who is involved in a call center, either managing one or working in one, that would be a great way to treat the customers. If you treat the customers better, they're going to keep coming back. So, just to let you know, those are there. And I'm going to click on one of these. So you can go ahead and take a look. Let's do, I don't mind. If there's one that you want me to click on, just let me know. And this is the course description, and I'm gonna get out of your way so you can read it. And then we'll look at any other ones if you want to. And you know, it really is true that, you know, if you're the face of your company or one of the faces of your company, you wanna make sure you're putting on, you know, your best foot forward. And whether you're going to social events or a conference or, you know, even running into somebody at the bank, you wanna be able to, and especially telephone etiquette, that's one of my pet peeves. I'm gonna million, but that's one of them. You know, to make sure that you're answering the phone professionally and really putting a good, like I said, a good foot forward for your company, and yourself. That's important. Now, Kathy had mentioned, is there any that you wanted me to go?
Click on that entrepreneurship, because all of our programs, not all of our programs, but our biggest program, which is our business challenge, is all about entrepreneurship. So let's see, let's say
I can get out of the way.
small business down there in the entrepreneurship tab.
Okay, so we'll go with these first. There's effective communication, there's career coaching. We can do marketing 101, which, don't you all do the challenge?
Yeah, that's what I was
That's what you're talking about, okay. That might be a really good thing for these folks to look into. Resolving workplace conflict, management essentials is great, I'm gonna get out of the way.
Is there anything in all of these about writing a business plan?
Writing a business plan. I'm not sure if I've seen that, but give me a second, hold on. But this is the management essentials. I would take a look at that. So it looks like it would teach you a lot if you were very much interested, whether you're opening a new business or you're in one. And honestly, I don't even think that you actually has to be a business per se. I can see things on here that would help a librarian, and in the end, I suppose we're a business, but you don't always think of it that way. But I mean, caring about your direct reports, acting decisively, dismissing an employee, difficult employee behavior, managing a diverse team. I mean, I can't think of anything on here that I couldn't use in my workaday life, you know, so just to let you know that. I will check and see.
I found it.
Oh, you did?
It's under home business, lesson number 5, developing a business plan.
Let me go back to okay, I'm sorry, what did you say it was
At the
under?
very, very top, it says home business.
I'm not seeing it on here, but you must have it on your,
Yeah.
okay, give me 1 second. There we go. I'm sorry. Is it under,
I think it was under business.
under business? Okay.
And then from there, it was under home business, I think.
Let's take a look. We seem to be in alphabetical order, which is helpful. We'll see if we can find it. I also love crisis management. That's big. If you're working with the public, you definitely need that. Fundraising, oh gosh, so much of it. Oh yeah, all sorts of, go down here.
Or go down to lesson 5.
Here we go. All right, Kathy, I'll just let you look at all of that and then I'll scroll again.
So, do you click on lesson 5, or is it one of 7 lessons in that.
It's one of seven.
Home business.
Yeah, that's a section. Think of it as a unit
Okay.
or a module, and that's what you would learn. You would learn money, setting up a business structure, home business ideas, is it even right for you, developing a business plan, your home office, time management, which I think working from home, you would probably need that. But it looks like you would have to go in a little bit deeper to actually get what you're going to do that, but that looks like it could be a good one. And then they also are going to do marketing, networking, and employees, which you can take a look at, and home business resources. So there's quite a bit there. Now I'm going to scroll down just a little bit more so you can see. You can get your learning outcomes, which is nice, so you know exactly, what am I really going to get out of this? Is it worth it? And, because our time is precious to all of us. And go ahead and take a look at that. And then you can get your certificate. You can also look at more and more courses. Now, was there anything, I'm gonna go into my class in a minute that I'm taking, so you can sort of get an idea of what it looks like. Is there any other ones that you want me to click on and take a look?
Not that I want you to click on, but how did she find that? Was that just, can you put in that search field right there, just like, search different words and
Yeah.
it'll tell you where to find it?
Yes, you can. And so, for example, let's try.
Found it by scrolling down. I just stumbled upon it.
Let's just see what we get if we do.
Don't tell them that, they think you're a wizard.
It was magical. It just came to
Just
you.
let them think that,
There we go. So all I did was business plan. That's what Kathy had asked about, and there is something there on how to write a business plan. There's interesting. Starting your own cleaning business. It's drilling down at this point. Professional organizer training. I think that's huge right now because of the lady who organizes. I can't think of her name. I should know because she's got a million books out. But yeah, so you could just go in and take a peek. If there's something that you're interested in searching, the search engine will seems to be pretty robust. All right. Any other thing that you would like me to look at from that list or from anything? Okay. What I'll do then is I'll just show you a little bit about my course, and we will go to that. And I'm just clicking on my classes. And remember, I'm signed in, as me. I've set up my account, and I did this at work, and I've done it at home, and I was able to do it from both places. A couple things it's telling me, I've got 6 lessons completed. There were 6 to go, so there were 12. I can tell you from my own experience, it takes some time to get these done. It's like I said, it's not like an easy peasy. You're going to want to be dedicated to it. You can do it in your own time, and as I said, you can go in and go out. But I've had assignments where I'm in a Microsoft Word document, typing up what they want me to type up, and then I email it to the instructor, and as I said, within 2 or 3 days, she'll get back to me and tell me, and give me my motivation. I'm a grade junkie, so it's like, give me name. And it's great. And obviously they give you course recommendations if you're interested in that. And we'll go ahead and take a look. We'll look at it and we'll do enter course. And then you can get sort of an idea. Okay, I can tell you, I have written sample reports, okay, in this. They tell you how to do it. They tell you, first of all, I will tell you this too. You have a test, and it's only about 10 questions. So it's not like this huge thing. But you do have a test, and you have to, and what they do too is you have to go through each thing. They want you to review this, and then you do that, and then you can take your test, and then, or no, you have to do the assignment first, and then you take your test, and then you can move on to the next, to the next lesson. So right now, where I am is on tests and lab reports. Okay, they're considered semi-formal. I can tell you that I already did the experiment, and I really did have to do the experiment. And I did the one with pennies and vinegar to make it shiny, you know what I mean? And then I will tell about it eventually when I get to this lesson, and I will talk about that. And I will have to write it out, and it's going to give you an example. Okay, and I won't go into everything, but this is what it's like. And you'll notice that if I can scroll down, and it'll tell me everything that I need to do and remember. And it's telling you what it is, right? And in this lesson, we're going to cover a comprehensive lab report, as well as one created in a classroom setting. Now, I might be like, okay, you know what, I'm a librarian, I haven't written a lab report since chemistry in 11th grade, but you know what, this is what they want, I'm going to do it, and I'll get something out of it, and I'm going to do it, and I will do it. And then it tells you all kinds of different, I'll just scroll down a little bit more. So for example, for equipment and materials, I would say I used a cup, I used water or vinegar, and I'll probably say I used white vinegar and probably the name, because I'll be thorough, I hope. And I will then give a step-by-step description of everything. What I remember of a lab report, you don't let anything out. And so then I will go and write this up for her and send it in. So it's not a joke, you know? And then the next one, I'll go in, I don't know what, see if I can see if it'll tell me what lesson 8 is. But it makes you a better writer, and I will tell you what else I got from this, is I had to create a document. Do you ever have things that you often misspell, or you're not sure? I'm thinking of one, and I learned this. If you put a number in a document, like say you're saying, I have 25 library books. Okay, do I put in the 25 or do I write it out? Those are the types of, it's almost like a cheat sheet. And I had to send that to her, and it was about 2 pages of all the things that I need, and they prompt you, like these are things that you're gonna wanna decide to keep in your little log, and then you can just pull it right out of your file and be like, okay, yeah, that is how I spell it, and this is the rule for that particular thing for writing. It's very valuable, in my opinion. Okay, so let me go back up, and let me see. Oh, you can go into the videos and the activities and the discussion, and I'm going to tell you that I don't really have a lot of time for discussion. I discuss all the time, all the time at work. So I tend to just do my assignments, get my feedback, watch the videos if I think it's going to be helpful, and then I move on to the next lesson. So that's not required, just so you know. And you can print out your information. If you want to take a look, we can look at my report card. Don't tell anybody. This is the part that I don't totally understand. I have a 99%, which is great. The 36%, they do explain that, but I don't really know what that means. But you can find your grades. I have to see where they are. I haven't looked at them in a while. Let's see. Down here a little bit. Oh, here we go. So this is how it's going to break down. So my first lesson was Introduction to Report Writing. Then Perfecting Your Writing Style, using correct and consistent spelling and abbreviations. That's the one where I had to make that thing. Then was using correct and consistent, writing the report, informal reports. That one, if I remember, was really good. That was, you know what that was? That was if you have to write an incident report at work. I don't know if you ever have to do that. You know, we work in the library, we work with the public. We have incidents. So we have to write incident reports. That one was a little involved, and I'm actually glad because it really contributed to my work. And that thing was 60 points or something like that, and it was great. I learned a lot out of that.
How many overall lessons are there? About
It depends.
No,
this
this
one
particular one was.
Oh, for this one, 12. There were 12. And I think that the estimate on it was 90 hours. Or I'm sorry, 20 hours. I'm sorry, something like that. And it depends on how fast you work. Some people could probably get it done in 15. You know, I'd probably be somewhere in the middle, like maybe 17, something like that. But yeah, so this is what I have coming up. And that's what I'll be doing. So to get this and get it finished, and then I can print it and get it put in my personnel file, and then I can be like, yay. And I really will tell you that one thing in particular was that little blog I was telling you about, as far as being able to pull something out to say, how do I spell initiative? Because I can never spell initiative. I use initiative all the time. So it's just one of those things. Now, did you all have any questions on any? Yes.
Are the classes updated, or are there additional classes added periodically?
Yes. I didn't look to see when the last time they added classes, but they do add them periodically. Yeah, they do.
Do they take suggestions? Or
Pardon me?
Do they take suggestions?
That I don't know, but I would not be surprised if there's an email that you could say, hey, I've got an idea. I also think there's somewhere on here, if you want to teach one, you could do that. You know, if you need some extra money, whatever, you could teach one of these if you wanted to. And I think you'd probably have to go to the main, just do Universal Class in Google, and then take a look and see how for careers there. Because everybody else has jobs too. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit and see if there's anything that I want to show you.
Do you know if this is accessible to vision impaired, to screen reading and?
Well, I think that depends on the computer. I don't know that it depends on the class. Does that make sense, or the database?
Or the website?
Yeah. I don't know that, but I can ask. I mean, you know, I don't know that for sure. You know, if you have a computer that is specific for vision impaired people, you know, then it would probably do that at your office or no? You know.
Yeah, but some websites or programs are not accessible even to what you're at. Like it may not read half of that out to the person. You know, it depends on how the website's set up.
I don't know that. That's actually a good question. And my guess is yes, probably yes. I don't see how you could do any kind of educational class without that being the case. But if you want me to, I can email them and find out, or however, just let me know.
I can. I just didn't know if you could
I'd be happy to do that.
know that.
Any other questions or anything else I can answer for you on that?
It's interesting, though.
Yeah, it really is. And I think that if you're someone who, like I said, who, you know, has been out of the workforce, or who is new in the workforce, or I don't know, I keep saying like a supervisor or HR manager, and you can't afford to send your folks to conferences or pay for webinars. It's a really great tool. The other thing too, it's a great refresher. So say you're like, oh man, I haven't used Access in 5 years, Microsoft Access. I'm going to do this because, you know, I see this coming down the pipe where I'm going to have to use it. Or the one I really want to take is HTML, and I got to get out of this one first. But because knowing how to create a web page is pretty important. But there are a lot of good things on here. One other quick thing I wanted to mention is, I think I sort of mentioned this, but if you got kids in high school and they're getting ready to, you know, start taking their SOLs or their SATs or ACTs, whatever, there are a lot of really good things on basic American history, geography, I believe, is in here, algebra 101, like algebra, plain old, and you know, and then plain old math skills, and anything like that. You know, if you've got kids that are either struggling or just need a little bit of a lift on to get ahead.
Yeah, I would like to have known about that when I went back to college, because I can tell you for sure I had to go to
The Learning Center or
the Learning Center to relearn algebra.
Yeah.
Because it had been so long since I've been taking it.
Yes, exactly. I understand what you're saying. It's tough. It's tough. And especially, and the other thing too is if you're an adult student and you know, are going back, this is a good way to get started. And it's free. I keep saying free, but that's really a good thing.
With the library number, you can.
It's free with your library card. Yes, were you here for the library card extravaganza?
I was, and
Okay.
I had trouble getting it to work, but I'll follow up with you.
Okay, yeah, just give me a call. I can run out here if you ever need anything, just let me know. The other thing too is if you have folks that need to take this, and you have like, even if you have 1 or 2 people or something like that, we can come out to your business so that you don't have to come into the library and we can get you set up. So just to let you know. All right. Yes.
Another question.
Sure.
Since this is open to like Wood County, Townsend County, is there like an online card application, or do they have to come physically to the office?
That's a very good question, and we did. I don't know if we have that up and running yet. Let me take a look. I'm going to get out of this, but I can get back in. So let me.
There's also ebooks and audiobooks that.
Yeah.
You know, they can.
Give me 1 second. Let me go in. I can tell you this, we are in the process, we're not there yet, of setting up online library cards. Because people, I'll tell you what, the people who want it really are the ones, and you can go to Tazewell Library too, you don't have to just come to ours.
Right.
Cause their cards work with us, does that make sense? So if you've got clients in Taz, they don't have to, but I'll tell you the people who like the online card, the online, registration for a card, are the folks who do ebooks. Because, it's midnight, and you're like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna read the new John Grisham if I can, and if I get, access it, and then you can do that, and I believe what the plan, from what I understand, I'm not on this committee, but from what I understand would be that the patrons could do that, and it would be a temporary card for about 2 weeks, but then you eventually have to come into the library to get it, But we're trying to do that for the folks who want that ebook or downloadable audio or database, quickly, so. But, do you have any other questions?
Sorry, I have
Yes,
one more.
No, absolutely.
Just with our clients, some being totally blind and those who thought that that's good vision to drive, transportation is a problem. So, say I had a client who was interested in universal classes and ebooks, audiobooks. Could I come to the library with their mail and get them a card, or does it have to be them?
I would tell you that you could, I'm not gonna say that because I don't know.
Okay.
We're really good though about taking into consideration people's issues and problems. If you either email Todd, okay, and that was under Get a Library Card, which I'll show you, Todd Eastridge, or you can give us a call at 276-676-6233. We try our best to make accommodations for situations like that. I think that we would try our best to make it work for you. So just to let you know that. Usually we'd like you to come in person, and we used to really, but for situations like that, like I said, we would try to help as best we could, or at least give you some good ideas on what we can do for you. Do you have any other questions? Anybody at all? All right, well, thank you. I really appreciate you all letting me come and talk about universal class. Here's the thing, and I know, but it really is one of those things that I think that if you get the right person who needs this, I think and I don't mean to be dramatic, but it could change their life. I mean, it really could, and it would really help a lot. So I'm just going to put up my little thank you screen, because I would feel guilty if I didn't. And we have a brand, our library card. But anyway, so thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. I've got my cards here. Please come to the library anytime. We love more patrons. We want you to come in and check out books, attend our programs, use the library, and we have special needs folks in the library all the time. So feel free to bring them in, just as an outing or as an anything, because we're very happy to have anybody who comes in. Bring your kids. Got a children's area, grandkids. Computer lab. That's the other thing. We do have a computer lab. So if you know folks who don't have computers, but they want to use a lab or a computer, you've got to have a library card, and we'll give you a guest pass a couple times, and then you can use our lab. But anyway, we've got 10 computers.
Very good. Well, I learned something today, and we're always looking for those kind of resources. So thank you very much, Sally.
Thank you.
In 2 weeks, on June the 19th, we are going to have another Master Customer Service with us class. We seem to annually have people that ask about customer service. So Fallon Ray is going to be here on June the 19th to talk about customer service. So join us then. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I will tell